loved by everyone who knew them and dreamed of a retirement to the Caribbean. But the dream that began for Charlie and Gail when they married 55 years ago came to a violent and tragic end when they were found dead at their home in Jamaica. This was the home they left in Gorton in Manchester, having sold it to fund their move abroad. Neighbour and friend Sangeeta says to Charlie, it meant everything.
He worked hard. At his age, you'd see him on a ladder, on this roof that's that high, no scaffolding, nothing. He was so daring. He was so hard-working. If you looked at his hands, you know, they tell you the work he's put in over his life. It's sad that somebody can do that.
It's the latest act of violence on an island that's seen the army deployed to enforce a state of emergency in the worst affected areas. Foreign Office advice to British travellers is that they should exercise caution if travelling there. It's understood the Andersons in their 70s had reported a crime of credit card fraud to local police shortly before they were found. Today the couple's family issued a statement saying they were just beginning the next chapter of their lives, retiring to Jamaica before this terrible tragedy. We'd like to thank our friends, family and community for their prayers and support. One Manchester Street will always remember the happiness they brought wherever they went.
And beautiful couple. They've always had a smile on their face. There's always, especially Charlie, he's always laughing and joking.
It's now for Jamaican police to investigate the crime that robbed this loving couple of the future they'd worked for all their lives.
Hi guys, it's your girl Bridget Akpo. Welcome to Oyinbo TV. Thanks for stopping by. So this commentary you just heard, it's a story about these grandparents, Charlie and Gail Addison, age 74 and 71, who were found dead in their home in Portland, Jamaica, on Saturday at 1 p.m. So the story goes that this couple lived in Manchester in the UK here all their lives, and very hardworking, building their life here in the UK as well as in Jamaica. And then they decided to retire back to Jamaica, and unfortunately this incident happened to them. They were discovered dead, murdered, actually, that's the word that was used. They were discovered murdered at their home, both the man and his wife. So this is from the statement that was released by the Jamaican police, saying that the man, a suspect who allegedly is linked to the murder, has been arrested and is in police custody. And then so many tribute being paid by the family and the loved ones, saying how this couple are very loving, you know, very happy couple who've worked all their lives and then finally retired back to Jamaica at their old age, and then this is what has happened to them. The statement from the son, the couple's son, released via the Foreign Office, also said that their parents, Charlie and Gail, enjoyed a long and happy marriage of 55 years, and they lived behind their 4 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. They were very hardworking, building a business with integrity and making sure they were always provided for. Charlie and Gail were pillars of the community in Manchester and in Jamaica, and they were hugely popular and loved by many. And that's also what one of the neighbors, Keisha Sings, who lived and near their home in Manchester, said that they were 2 of the most beautiful people in this world. Charlie was like a father to her, and their son, who is a 51-year-old, said they moved to Jamaica for good about 12 months ago, having lived in Manchester for decades, but have been back in the UK recently after falling victim of credit card fraud. I mean, this is another very sad episode of people who've worked hard to build a life for themselves, and you know, retiring back to their home country, and this tragedy has happened. I mean, these are some of the issues that we talk about here on my channel all the time, about retiring back home. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but I mean, I'm just saying that people need to be very, very careful, because the issue of security is one of the main issues that most people who are going to retire back home we'll have to contend with, because in most cases when you retire back to developing countries like this in Africa and the Caribbean, people who see you, I mean, these are very elderly couple who assume that that they've come home with so much money, and we'll find way to defraud them one way or the other. So they've already been defrauded. They came back, and then they decided to go back, and this is sadly what's happened to them. It's really, really sad. And I just wanted to share this with you guys today. There's a lot of bad news coming on this channel. Actually, I didn't want to share this today. I had a very funny video that I wanted to share with you guys, but I just feel like we have to learn. We learn from the good as well as the bad. So this is another example of retirement that is gone bad, or somebody going back to their home country, and this is the consequences. It's not to put anybody off from retiring or going back to their country. It's just for us to be very, very careful, because the issue of security is one that one has to be very, you can't be too careful about it. Just to be very, very careful. What's happened to them is another sad story again. Unfortunately, it's happened now, even though the police are saying that they've captured or they've arrested a suspect. It's not going to bring them back. This is another loss that the family will have to deal with. But at least I can give it to them that at least they've arrested somebody, at least, a suspect, which is more than what I can say for some other countries that, crimes would happen and, nothing will come out of it. I mean, we've all heard of incidents like this happening in many countries in Africa and, all other countries around, developing countries. So, guys, please be careful when you're going back, or you're planning to retire, or you're there currently. You can never be too careful. We have to just pray for the family and hope that their soul will rest in peace, and the Lord will keep the family and protect them. So I'm just going to leave it here. So leave me a comment down below in the comment section. Thanks very much, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye bye.